We make the streams louder.
How is it going, guys, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to part 2 of my previous car history. Now, if you guys haven't checked out part 1, make sure you go and check that out first. Obviously, I had to split it into 2 videos due to the amount of cars I had. Now, the video hasn't done that well, but there was a few of you who did want to see part 2, so I'm basically doing this video for you guys. Like, a small amount of you want to see the part 2, my cars after the first video. I'm doing this for you guys, so you know, it's one of them, innit? It's unfortunate, like, you know, a lot of people haven't wanted to watch the first one, but it is what it is, you know what I mean? It's just, you know, it's only a bit of fun, isn't it, really? So let's crack on with part 2 of my previous cars, and hope you guys enjoy. Right then, so after I sold the Subaru, I got a BMW E46 330D. Now, I just thought I'd try my hand at BMW ownership just to see, like, you know, what it's like, what the hype was about. I brought this car. It was, I shouldn't have got it. It just, it wasn't even cleaned, but I wanted to try it. It had been remapped. In all fairness, for a 330D, for a diesel, tell you what, they're fast cars when they're mapped. But it was a bit of it just wasn't for me. I felt like it was just like an old man car. There's a few problems, like the stereo didn't work, it kept blowing fuses. Took it apart, there was about 25p that had been posted through the CD hole, so I don't know what that was all about. But yeah, I didn't really do anything to that car, just drove it round. I cleaned the interior, because the interior had like a cream leather, but it was more brown leather when I got it, so I cleaned all that up. And that was about it, really. So it just wasn't for me. I think it lasted about 2 months. And I thought, nah, it's not for me, this car ain't. So I chopped it in for the next one. Okay, the next car, I swapped the BMW for this on a website called Swaps. I think it's still going. I met a lad in Carlisle. So it was about a 3.5 hour drive, because he lived at the top of Scotland and I lived obviously in Birmingham. So I drove up to Carlisle to swap cars. It was a Fiesta ST150 with white go faster stripes, white wheels, but it just felt a bit more modern compared to the BMW. However, they need a 6th gear. Oh my God, the drive back. Oh, it only had a back box on it, I think, but oh, it was all the way back. They need a 6th gear, them cars. Modification wise, I lowered it. I put an induction kit on it. I put a full exhaust system on it, because it's the flexi on them, I think it was, that really restricted the power. After that, it went quite well. It was pretty nippy. But again, it didn't really last long. I tried swapping it for my next car. However, the guy didn't want to do a deal, so I had to basically sell the car. It took me ages to sell. It got to a point where, you know what, I'm not keeping it. So I'm keeping it. So I spent, I think, about 2-3 days like underneath the car, cleaning everything, painting everything, making it immaculate underneath, because I wanted to get it all nice. And after I'd done that, I had a phone call, someone to come buy it for the asking price. I was like, all right then. So yeah, that was that one. Right then, my next one, once I sold the Fiesta ST, I got in contact with the guy about the Honda Civic Type R EP3, my first Honda, and offered him, like, basically gave him the money he wanted. Well, I knocked him down a little bit, and I went to view the car. Again, it was all sorted, there was nothing really wrong with it. All it had was an induction kit, that was it. It's pretty much stock, relatively stock anyway. I just drove around in that for a bit, but same one with my last one. It wasn't for me. I didn't like the idea of having to make the car, kit the car's head in. You thought I'd learned for the first time, really. But yeah, again, I think that lasted about 3-4 months. I just got bored. It's not sort of time in my life where cars didn't stay in my ownership very long. I just kept chopping and changing, chopping and changing, chopping and changing. So that car was gone. I swapped this car for my next one. Right then, as I said, I then swapped my car, the Civic Type R, on Swaps again for another Subaru, a Subaru Impreza Bug-Eye WRX. Now, I think I've got some pictures of around when I first got the car. I have to look at my photo album, and it didn't look the greatest. As you guys can see, it had a Pro Drive spoiler. It was like a weird limited edition spoiler. It had gold wheels. It just looked terrible. But in my mind, I could see potential. So I swapped the car. In all fairness, the car was brilliant. I know it had the Pro Drive map on it, I think it's called. Oh, God, I can't remember what it was. I'm sure it was like a Pro Drive edition. It was like basically a Pro Drive edition car that Pro Drive put their little bit of marks on it. I ended up with that car. I ended up putting a full exhaust system on it. I took the dash out. The first time I ever took a dash out of a car, because I brought a flopped dash, put that in. I remember having the dashboards in my living room, just trying to transfer everything over. Yeah, I was in the doghouse that day. Yeah, and then what else did I do to it? I've done a few little bits, handling mods, and just cleaned it all up, made it look nice. Had the wheels powder coated, put a proper spoiler on it. I was looking to facelift the car to a blob eye, but I didn't keep the car long enough to do that. But that was a really good car. It never really gave me any issues at all, really. I just really enjoyed it. And then I sold that, and I brought my next one. Right then, this one, probably one of my favourite cars I had. Well, I say favourite Subarus. It was a Subaru Impreza WRX STI Hawkeye in black. It was absolutely beautiful. I love that car, I like the look of it, but it was black, so keeping it clean was an absolute nightmare. Again, I didn't really do too much to this one. I put some gauges in it, I think. I put a Roger Clark induction kit on it. It had already been mapped previously. The engine was built. It was just a really good car. Issues wise with that one, I remember I was coming home from Tesco's. I pulled up to the junction, and I went to pull off, and I heard clack, 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 clack. I was like, turn the engine off quick. I was like, uh-oh, I blew my car up. I was like, I don't get it. I wasn't hammering it. I was just cruising it, but it's just like clack, 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 clack. I was like, oh no. So I had it recovered, and then it took it up to a Subaru specialist by me, Arden Bridge Services. And turned out that it was the oil pickup pipe snapped. Apparently on the Hawkeye, the 2.5 engines, this was a common thing. And the oil pickup pipe, just the harmonics in the engine would cause the welds on the oil pickup to snap, and obviously to starve the engine of all. I was very, very lucky with that car. I didn't do any damage to the engine. Well, I say I didn't do any damage to the engine. I think I did, because after I had it all fixed and stuff like that, and I think about a month later, I noticed the oil pressure, because I had gauges, oil pressure wasn't as high as it used to be. It was getting lower. I was thinking, right, it's time to get rid of this car quickly. So obviously thought, well, I don't want to pay for another engine bill, so I just got rid of the car and purchased my next one. Right then, once I sold the Impreza, luckily I got what I paid for it. I purchased my second Focus ST225 because I'd always missed my first one, so I thought I'd delve into it again. Brought this from a trader. And I noticed at night time, when I was driving along, the headlights were doing that. You can see like it flashing off the signs and stuff at night, but it's like the front end, like the headlights are bouncing. So I thought I'd do some investigation. Well, wasn't I in for a surprise? Obviously took the front bumper off and everything else because I wanted to make sure everything was secure, and the front end was caved in. The crash bar was smashed to hell. I was just like, no, this isn't happening to me. It's not happening. I couldn't believe it. I was just like, you're joking. So it was just like, I rang the garage up. They basically washed their hands of me. They've been absolute arseholes about it. So I ended up having to thankfully, the structure of the front was okay. It was mainly just the crash bar was all smashed in. So it looked like it'd been in a crash. Obviously, they just put a bumper on it and stuff like that. And obviously, they traded it in. And that's why the headlights are bouncing, all the brackets broke. Everything was just broke. So I put a complete new front end on it. Got it right. Modifications wise, I put a Dream Science induction kit on it, and then I went down to Oxford and pick up one of the Dream Science Racer Edition handsets again. Got on the motorway, went to put my foot down, missed firing its tits off. All the lights on the dash were going. I was like, oh no, what's happened? Turned out this is why I changed my spark plugs on this, guys. They must have been they were quite old spark plugs. Obviously, when I was running more boost, it was blowing the spark out and causing the car to misbehave. So yeah, that was that. I got all that sorted. The car was sweet after that, but I missed Subaru ownership, so that car did have to go. Right then, after I sold the Ford Focus, I picked up another Subaru Impreza STI, but a classic model this time in blue. It was sort of an off blue. I think it'd been painted. The car was fast. I think I'm sure I dynoed it around 400 brake. The car was an absolute animal, fully forged. It had a turbo off a rally car on it, but the only problem with that is it was laggy, so laggy. You put your foot down, it's like, yeah, boost is loading, and then it just come on so aggressive. You put you in your seat, you shoot off. It was a fast car. I didn't really do a lot to this one. Mainly fixed it because it broke a lot. I think the worst time it broke is when my gearbox and my rear diff went at the same time. And if you guys have ever driven a four-wheel drive car when the gearbox and diff goes So I had to sort of limp it home. It's like the car was just doing that. Like you're driving straight and then suddenly you want to go to the left and then suddenly you want to go to the right, and it was frightening. So I had to put a new box in it, chucked a diff in it. It was all right after then, but then I was sort of like, I had financial problems. So unfortunately then I had to sell the car and basically pay off a load of debt that I got myself into. So yeah, unfortunately I had to go, paid a load of debt off, got myself back in the clear. Then I had to sort of like wait then to get my next car, which I sort of basically had to start again, basically start from the beginning and work my way up. Right, as I was saying, I had to start again. So what I've done, I picked up a Citroen Saxo VTR. You know, initially I brought this car just have it as a runabout. Like I didn't really plan on modifying it. That went out the window. It basically started when, you know, on the, you probably guys know Saxos and 106s, they suffer with the camber pins, like the push pins. They on the rear they sort of collapse and you make your car do that. I sourced a rear subframe on I can't remember how I found it, but when I picked it up, I fitted it, and basically it had been lowered. So I thought, well, I can't bother to mess around with that torsion bar nonsense again. So I ended up putting a set of front lowering springs on it. Then that was it. Then it just got out of control. So yeah, I ended up putting another set of alloys on it, and then the big thing, I'd always wanted to do a turbo build on an NA car, and I thought, well, you know what, I'm gonna do one, and it was all eBay turbo, eBay intercooler, eBay everything. Like the turbo was like £90 brand new off eBay, proper Chinesium turbo, universal intercooler kit, an SAS tubular manifold, which was probably the most expensive part. Ended up taking up to, I basically did it all on my own, fitted it all myself, went on Saxbury, so look at other people's builds, asked a few questions, how to plumb stuff in and stuff like that. Took it to Wayne at Chip Wizards. He was the only one in the UK who can map the stock ECU or chip it to make it like accept boost and stuff like that. Weirdly, it was running Porsche Cayenne injectors. They fit, go figure. But yeah, I fitted all that, and it made 174 brake at the wheels, which ain't bad for a 1.68 valve naturally aspirated. All I did was to sort the compression out. I put a thicker head gasket on it out of a diesel, so it brought the head up a little bit. So it was just basically like an eBay bodge, not bodge, but it was an eBay build. And yeah, it was a fantastic little car. I really enjoyed that build. It was a brilliant car. I enjoyed the noises it made. It sounded like the flutter used to sound really good. I've got like a bit of a clip of when it was on the dyno. I'll put it in there. So yeah, there you have the Saxo VTR turbo that I built from scratch all on myself pretty much. A few help from friends here and there. But yeah, it was a good build. It was something I really enjoyed, something I'd love to do again, but you can't get cheap cars anymore. So it's just one of them things, isn't it? But yeah, it was a really good build. Got to where I wanted with it, and when I sold it, I didn't really make much of a loss because I picked the car up for next to nothing, and I just eBayed everything, so I didn't really lose too much. So I got rid of that and moved on to my next one. Right then, once I got rid of the Saxo, I thought, you know what? I'm going to try Beamer ownership again. I didn't learn. But you know what, I thought this time I'm going to go for a petrol. So I found a BMW 330 Ci. It was a cabriolet, but it was the SMG box. Now, if you guys don't know that, well, I don't really know, but it's an SMG box. It's sort of like, it's got a manual gearbox, but it changes gear automatically or something like that. But yeah, I had all them boxes, which it took some getting used to. I put a set of I've tried to put my little mark on it. I bought a set of alloy wheels for it, little spoiler lip and a few bits and pieces. The alloys were genuine fake BBSs. So, but yeah, put them on. It's just like, again, it was a Beamer, and I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why I thought I'd like it again, but because I didn't like my last one. But I thought I'd just give it a go, and again I didn't like it, and I hated having the roof down because I'd be sat in traffic. I feel like people are looking at me, so I just didn't like that. And it's just like, oh, I think that car lasted about what, 2 to 3 months, something like that. It's just, I'm so stupid. I'm stupid. Why don't I learn? If I buy a car, I don't like it, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy another one. But yeah, so that didn't last very long. It was mainly the clutch started to go on it. It started to slip, and oh god, the prices of the clutches on them fitted. Oh god, I think the cheapest quote I got was like £1,800 because the gearbox has to be programmed as well or something to didn't know when to change gear. Oh, well, I don't know. But yeah, I was like, yeah, it's got to go. So then I part X'd it for the next one. Right then, you guys all know this build, the Corsa VXR, my first VXR. Well, I'll say my second VXR, but it wasn't red this time. Ugh. And yeah, so obviously you guys all know this car. It was a blue, which I part shop for the B mat. Picked it up. It was a bit ropey. All the wheel bearings are gone, which is standard for me. I seem to buy cars that need wheel bearings. Well, don't ask me why. And it had white wheels, it had go faster stripes down the side. I got the wheels changed to black. It had like an Ermshire front grille on it, which looked awful. The side stripes had been lacquered over. Yeah, brilliant. You absolute moron. Whoever done that, you're an idiot. So in the end, I had the car completely resprayed, which was a drama as well, because apparently the body shop said I waxed and polished the car too much, so the paint was reacting. So I had to drive around it with like a patchwork quilt and wash it with TFR and washing up liquid to try and pull the grease out. I don't know, guys. In the end, it was all sorted. I had it completely resprayed. It was just running like a little stage 1 mat. I was running like 230 brake. Again, this is sort of my first time at Wayside Performance. Again, Chris is an absolute legend. Don't forget that, guys. If you ever want to take your car mapping, take it to him. And then I've done a few little bits and pieces to it, and then COVID hit, and that's when the whole full build went at, just full build then, and that's why it ended up being over 300 brake. I'm not going to go too much into it because you guys all know the car. You know the build, everything I've done to it, because I've done loads and loads and loads of videos on it. So yeah, that was a good car. I had it for 4 years, fantastic car. When I come to sell it, because it done like 150,000 miles, even though I've had the engine forged and everything, no, everyone was offering me pennies. So that's why I ended up getting sold to a breakers and getting stripped. Right then, you guys all know what was next after that. The Disaster, and it was red. What was I thinking? I thought, no, this red car. Ash was saying, oh, it's red, you're getting red. And I was like, nah, that curse, it's just a thing, like, it won't be cursed. Yeah, it was. It's all fairness, like the first year it was all right, but it's when I first had that F pop up, and it was never the same. No one could fix it, and everybody touched it, made it worse, and that car almost broke me. Like my mental health at that point, oh my god, it was terrible. But yeah, it was just it was one of them cars. Again, I'm not going to go too much into this one because you guys all know the build. I've documented the build for it and I picked it up till when I got rid of it. So if you guys want to see what I've done to it, just scroll through my videos. If you want to check out any of the videos I've done on it. It was a good car. I do miss it to an extent. I missed it when it was running well, because I was still like the VXRs. I like the VXR scene. I like everyone in the VXR scene because you're all brilliant. But who knows, one day I might come back, but I just need to recover from the drama of the Astra VXR. It is up for sale at the minute. It has been fixed. It is now running a forged engine because the last engine blew up. So yeah, that would have been me. Like, I got all electric sorted and then the engine would have let go. So it was just one of, oh god, the car I'd just rather forget about. Right then, the next one. Yeah, I done it again, didn't I? Bought a Civic Type R EP3. I didn't learn again, did I? I thought, nah, I'd be alright, Like, I remember my first one not really enjoying it, but I thought, you know what, I might enjoy this one now I'm a bit older. Obviously, you guys know this car, Cosmic Grey. Put an induction kit and exhaust off Paulie Boy. Nice one, mate. But again, it just wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me. It was just too rough and ready. I have a lot of mechanical sympathy when it comes to cars. I don't like beating on them. Obviously with a Honda Civic Type R, you have to kick its head in, and I didn't enjoy that. I just couldn't get on with the car, and then it got broken into. And I thought, you know what, this is a sign. So it had to go. I was like, you know what, it's got broken into. I had a load of stuff taken. I thought, no. After that, I was like, this is a sign. The car has to go. So obviously, then that's when I got rid of it and got this. So yeah, that leads me on to this. You guys all know this car. I absolutely love it. It's absolutely a fantastic car. Obviously, I've not done a lot to it. I've only put a map on it, exhaust and intake. I've just basically fixed it and tidied it up. But I do still love this car. I think it's brilliant. I'm just really enjoying it at the moment. Obviously, I want to take it further. I want to put a front mount intercooler on it next, so I can turn the car up, so I can put like a better map on it, so it'd be faster. But until I get a front mount intercooler, I can't do that. But it will be coming soon, guys. I just need to get some money together, because obviously you guys can tell from the past few videos I've done, I've spent quite a lot of money. So, but yeah, I will get there, guys. But yeah, I love this car. Absolutely fantastic. I've missed them, and this car's been brilliant to me. So there you have it, guys. That is all my cars. I have tried to be a bit quicker this video because my last one dragged on for ages, but I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope the guys who wanted part 2 enjoyed this. So make sure you smash that like button. It really helps the channel out. You know, it puts me in the algorithm, gets me out there, because I'm only on a small channel. And I appreciate all your support, guys, and all your kind comments and likes and everything. It means a lot. So as always, guys, if you're new, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.